Let's fucking go.
Two-run shot.
Mookie Betts just hit a 2-run home run. The Dodgers are at 4-0 right now. My mental health is through the roof, which is
It's
great.
because there's a delay in Twitter.
Oh, bro, that's why you can't check
Yeah.
Twitter. Sorry, guys. This
Literally,
is the Heavens
literally, it was the first thing that popped up.
guys, I'm going to be frank with you. This is the Heavens Demons podcast, and we appreciate you guys for tuning in and listening, but
We are diehard Dodger fans.
hey, did you turn like you're from Boston?
Yeah.
I'm a diehard.
Yeah, diehard. Hey, shout out.
Hey, bro, I
Shout
get
out.
it. I get it. It's because Mookie used to play in Boston. That's what.
You,
I
you
see
knew
why.
exactly where I was going with it.
Dude, I know
And
exactly why.
never mind.
Don't do that. But thank you for tuning in this week, guys. We have a lot on the slate. We're gonna be a little distracted, so just bear with
A little
us.
bit.
But
I can
we're
multitask.
gonna do our best.
That's what Matt dealt with. What?
I was gonna say I was gonna do a weekend recap, but we kind of been out for 2 weeks. For
Do you want
good
to do it?
for good reason.
A
So
2-weekend recap? I'm just kidding.
that's too much. What was I gonna say? You see, bro, it's gonna be a distraction.
It's distracting. That's why I told you to have the audio just a little bit, just in case we hear a hit. But it's fine. It's fine. It's completely
I
fine.
was say we've kind of taken a little break. I would say.
Well, if you haven't noticed the schedule by now, it's unofficially official that we do 3 weeks in a row, and maybe the fourth week we take off.
yes.
3 weeks in a row, fourth week. It's kind of implied if you're watching still. We just haven't made that announcement.
Yeah, but it kind of worked
So this
out.
is the announcement.
This is the announcement that was secretly kind of already implied.
It was kind of already implied, yeah.
But we have been, I would say, working on a lot of things.
Well, yeah, I mean, we wouldn't. That was one thing that we discussed, not on the podcast, is that we'll do 3 episodes in a row, and then that fourth week we'll use that day to get everything we need done for like whatever we've been putting off or whatever, just so we're stress free of like, I know it only takes like an hour and a half to 2 hours to record the podcast, then it takes another hour to edit. So that's 3.5 hours, 3 to 3.5 hours that we could have used to something else.
Yes.
And it's just all multitasking, time management, just delegating things. And last week is when we finally. Do you want to talk about it after the? We just needed work to get done for our next drop.
Yeah, we can talk about it now.
Yeah.
We could. It's gonna. It'll be brief.
Get it out the way. Yeah,
Um,
we're working on our next drop. We hinted at it on the last episode with Alec.
which we're working with Alex. Shout
Yeah.
out, Alex.
Shout
Diddy.
out! Shout out!
Shout
ITU
out.
Industries. So last Tuesday is when we kind of got it together,
Mm-hmm.
and we figured out a lot of shit. We left there with a wealth of knowledge.
And you know what? The good thing is, so did Alec.
Yeah. So
We all
it's just we if we would have recorded the podcast, we would have probably postponed that day or had to reschedule, and we're already so far behind. I don't know if you guys know about the fucking shipping debauchery going on at all the ports.
The shortage going on
The
around the world.
shortage. That's why you have to go American.
God
Even
bless
then,
America.
yeah. So we didn't want to keep pushing stuff back. So we do that to where the fourth week, okay, whatever we haven't gotten done, let's just focus on getting it done that day.
Yeah.
So then, we can come back, the following week. Also, 2 weeks worth of content that has happened, which a lot has happened. We're gonna try to get through all of it as quickly as possible. Don't know where we're gonna start yet, but just so you guys know.
But just so you know that
And-
we have been working. There's a lot of cool stuff we're gonna do. We're gonna tease a little stuff coming up in this week.
Big T's podcast.
Big T's. That's the name of the episode, by the way. Big T's podcast.
I want to name it something else, but it's coin flip.
Yeah, you know what? There's 2 grown men on this. Maybe that's not the
Yeah,
most appropriate
it's
one.
not.
Thank you. Thank you. This is why you're here. But no, we've been working on things. It's not because we've been lazy. And
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. It's a lot of hard work that's gone into it. There's a lot of man hours that's gone into it already.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully you guys will enjoy it in the coming weeks.
Yeah, in the next coming weeks. Just patience and consistency and perseverance.
That's all we can do.
PCP, that's what you need.
Wait, hold on.
I just came up with that right now.
You said patience,
Consistency
and
perseverance. PCP.
That's the name of the episode.
Sometimes you just need PCP.
Hey, you just need PCP, baby.
Patience, consistency, and perseverance. That's how you make it through life, any aspect. And have patience with yourself and others. Be consistent with yourself and others. Just persevere.
With
'Cause times
yourself.
go with yourself and others. Hey,
Sounds bad.
But yes, that's
that's all leadership is just coming up with random like acronyms. And
Actually, yeah.
that's
Yeah.
all it is really.
And how convincing can you be when you do
Mhm.
it?
And
That's
delivery.
what it comes down to.
Confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to do another acronym.
No, I just hey, bro. Hey, Gary Vee, fucking stop with your motivation right now. Look, we can only have so much motivation.
Could you imagine? Try to make it CNN, but
could
whatever.
you imagine if you're like a super? There's. I'm glad there's people like that in the world because
like
a
professional
lot of,
speakers.
Not even so much that like the super motivational people.
Like I can't.
Well, you can't, but I'm glad there is some because a lot of people or some people do need it. It's appropriate. I feel like majority of people though don't really like it, but there is an audience for that.
No, 100% there's an audience for it, and I'd be lying if I said I'd never listened to like a Gary Vee snippet. I would
like
never. I would never go to like one of his speakings. And like one thing I believe everybody needs motivation from time to time because we get down in the dumps. But if you need to like go to a motivational seminar, or you need to go to like these huge events to like light a fire under you, it's just not in you.
Yeah,
I don't think like I would love to see the analytics. Thank you, of the people that leave those places and go on and become millionaires. I'd love to see it because if you don't have it in you, somebody just can't put that in you. They can't instill work ethic into a grown adult.
That is true. Different strokes for different folks, but I'd much rather those people that paid a lot of money for those conferences to try and figure, like, I'd much rather them like pay a therapist to be like, all right, what are your internal motivations? What drives you? Like, have somebody.
What are your pitfalls?
Yeah. Have somebody break yourself down with you. I think that's the better investment.
And patience with yourself.
Hey, we're gonna be doing a lot of PCP on this podcast, guys.
There you go.
Jokes. But I'd much rather them make that investment and after the fact go to a conference after you figure yourself out.
Yeah.
Because it's just too much.
What they don't realize is like Gary Vee, yes, but one thing, like, he's successful, he does all this and that, he motivates a lot of people. He's a self-motivated person.
Oh yeah. Oh, he didn't need anything like that to motivate himself.
And he always talks about his story. And one thing that people aren't really like grasping is he's self-driven, self-motivated. He did it himself. And he's trying to motivate people that aren't self-motivated. And I understand it's one thing. I mean, it would hurt him financially if he said this, but it's like, if you're not self-motivated or self-driven, you're not an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You're not a business owner.
And you could be self-driven later on.
Yeah.
You might have to figure out a lot about yourself first and then get to that.
You gotta awaken your inner entrepreneur, because when your back's against the wall, either you're gonna fight or flight. You're gonna figure it out, you're gonna be self-motivated, or you're not.
Yeah, it's gonna be one or the other.
Yeah. So that's
but
don't know how we got here, but yes.
Financially, no, it would be a good idea for him to say that, because then why would anybody go?
Why would anybody go? You know?
Yeah. So yes, that's kind of our weekend recap. In essence, is we've been doing things. I don't know how we got to Gary Vee, but just know, guys, good things are coming. What's the first thing on the pod? I mean,
you want to stick to funny? Or you want to go to serious?
I'd rather stick to funny.
Stick to funny.
Yeah,
all right.
I don't want to shit on her, and I don't want this to come across as like an anti Megan Fox.
It is not. All right, look. Okay, we've talked about this off podcast.
We might be anti MGK.
Not pertaining to her, but sometimes people's happiness annoys other people. It bugs. It's just the way you go about being happy. And I know you guys listening to this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You probably would never say this. I'll say it. The way it's like people say sore losers. There's also like terrible winners.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, I understand you just won. You should be proud, but you're going about it in the most shit way possible. Now, when it goes to people being happy, it's like, I don't need every tweet or post. Fuck.
Okay, every tweet or post. Oh,
it was a good thing. Oh, you should have. Bro, the look on your face was concerning.
No, I wanted to just like scream like happiness, but I can't do that.
Okay, yeah, I would have hated that happiness.
Hey, because
okay, I would have condoned that one.
And I'm gonna piggyback off what you're saying.
Yeah.
Just like you're saying, I think there's a certain gracefulness you need in your happiness, in your failures, in everything. I think there's a certain grace to things. And again, it's hard for me to say because I always say different structure, different folks, whatever makes you happy. But I will say, and I know a lot of people agree with me, when you see that shit constantly and it's just thrown in your face, it's just like, okay, if I'm seeing you like constantly like this every single day, are you trying to sell me something? Are you trying to sell yourself something? Like what are we doing?
I think the underlying tone is that they've kind of gone all in on this. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were a couple, yes, but now that everybody like glamorized it, now they're going balls deep.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, like I loved her post like her caption, I was like, that's hot, right? Because it's coming from her.
Yeah.
Then he tried to do it, and I'm like, this guy's annoying.
It's too much.
Like, hey, bro, like, let at least just I think perfect dynamic in a relationship, you let the one person be like the over the top, hopeless romantic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then the other person just act like you've been there before, bro.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just relish in it. Just maybe do like a 1-word post or something cool. Let her do that, because if you're both over the top, it looks like you're trying to outdo each other.
Yeah, and honestly, it just comes off like now you're just being boastful. Like you're just
Yeah.
trying to be braggadocious.
And
Nobody likes that.
I was willing to look past It was the story I heard of how
How they met.
and how he in the pickup line that worked on her.
And-
Apparently, MGK is part Cheshire Cat. apparently he vanishes in a poof of smoke.
Hey, he might be fucking Count Dracula.
Bro, she said you smell like
wind.
weed, and this is the line that worked, bro. This is almost like the Sweetie Quavo.
This is already bugging
This is
me.
it was like, I am weed, and just she said he's just gone,
And then he was just gone.
it's like, what? Like, that's where it's like, all right, now you're fucking with me.
And this is what bothers me
And
more.
if this did work, shame.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, look, I expect that from him being a little
Yeah.
moronic and him probably being so out of his mind that he thought that would sound funny. I get that. That makes sense on his part.
Yeah.
But if she
that
was,
wowed you away?
if she was coherent
Yeah.
and she was like, "Oh wow, this guy's really a thing,"
Mm-hmm.
that's what did it for you. I am weed. Now the whole vanishing thing and the mystery, I respect. I can understand that. And if she was attracted to that, so be it. I don't like the whole "I am weed" and she's like, "Oh wow,
Especially if that's your first words to her.
I am weed."
I love lamp.
Hey, I love lamp. Are you just saying you love the lamp? because
Or
see
do you
a
really?
lamp?
I love lamp.
I love lamp.
I love rug. But I am rug. That was where it was like, all right.
Bro, that's it. Just sounds like now I'm trying to replay like in my head
Like,
of,
how that went.
and also how I've heard things in terms
Yeah.
of like, oh, you have like, it's like somebody went up to you and be like, oh, you have nice eyelashes, and you'd be
Yeah.
like, I am eyelashes. Like, that's how stupid it sounds.
I am eyelashes.
Oh, you have beautiful, hey, you have really nice eyes. I am eyes.
Mm.
Are you
What?
fucking dumb?
What?
Like, if I was a woman
All right.
and I heard that, come on, I'm gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh, this guy,
Eyes I am.
this guy's dumb.
Yeah, bro. I don't.
Or what? This is a weird commercial.
That's
There
very
is
weird.
you guys can't see it and we can't show for copyright reasons, but there was an old man and an
I'm
older woman
pretty
in the
sure
back
this is
seat
for
of a car.
erectile dysfunction. Yep, treaty.
It is.
Yep.
You know what? Hey, good for them.
Fucking in
Good
a
for
car,
them.
caught by security though, because if you're caught by the cop, you'll be a sex offender.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Play it smart, folks.
Yeah. Car sex is fun, but
Goals. No, actually, well, at that age, that's goals because that means they're still into each other. Good for them. But yes, it's just running through my head of like, how did this? How is this still even going?
because we've heard stories and like even chit chatting with friends and like, oh, how did you guys meet? Whatever happened? Like they reenact it. And it's like, I get the whole like, one, you had to be there. Two,
Yeah, that is
how
true.
did that person say it? And it's like, okay, maybe they said it like in a way where it's like, okay, I get it, 100%. But there's no way that I can envision this and like, I don't even know if that's even like an adequate response to the question of like, you smell like weed.
I am weed. Like, if this was a Halloween costume and he was dressed up like weed, I guess that's appropriate. But that wasn't that.
I don't know, man. Hold on.
And to the opposite field. Fuck. You see, bro? You looked over. Don't look
should've
over.
looked over.
Don't look over.
All right.
But
Honestly, I'm at the happiest I've ever been in my life. I'm not trying
Same.
to hate. It's not coming from a bitter place. Do I wish like I got a post like what she did, like captioned it that way? Of
Yeah.
course. What guy wouldn't?
absolutely.
Yeah. But and if they're trolling us, bravo, tip the cap. It's working. It is working.
I
If that's
don't-
trolling.
You know what? I don't think, and I could be wrong, I don't think MGK is that clever to be that.
No, God no.
I just
And
don't
that's
think
why his
him.
post wasn't even that great. He's not
mean.
It's not like he's this articulate.
That's not
No,
the
man.
first thing I think of when I see him.
No.
Now
man.
her, see, with Megan Fox, it's always a
It's
wild
different,
card.
yeah.
Because she talks, but most of the time she doesn't say much. So
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know if she's super intellectual or if at times she's just a little airheaded. I just
yeah.
feel like she could be like one or the other.
I feel like she's very smart, very intellectual.
Yeah.
She's very aware, present, because I've heard interviews and stuff on how she, talks and composes herself. I also think there's a side of her that
little
like
ditzy.
this. No, not ditzy, but like this is kind of a game to her.
Maybe that's what she could be.
Like
that,
this is kind of like this is fun. Like she has that wild side. Like everybody has.
those days.
The,
Fuck. And he caught it. We're good, folks.
like everybody, like we know of a friend, to where, yeah, she's smart, this and that, there, but like at any moment she'd be like, she could
Turn it on you,
turn it on.
and you'd be like, "Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?"
Turn on, or like you could like same thing if you line up shots and I'm like, I'm not gonna take a shot, and you call me a bitch, I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna take the fucking shot.
I was gonna. I was always gonna do it.
Yeah, type of thing. It's like, oh, you think I won't do this, or it's like, oh, this is fun to me. Like I really don't care.
Yeah.
I could do this at any moment. This is just fun. So like in the back of my mind, that's what I think. Because then I hear of like other instances that pertain to her, and I'm like, she's very much of like, I just do shit just to do shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm smart, yes, I know all like whatever.
She doesn't have to be calculated with what
Yeah.
she's doing, because I generally don't think most of the time she gives two shits, because it's
Most
not
times
that.
she doesn't have a calculator.
That's true. Honestly, it might just not be that serious to her. She might be fucking around, and
Yeah.
I could see that from her. That's
Yeah.
why I'm like, it could be one or the other.
Yeah.
It could be one or the other.
Maybe we wish we were MGK in that situation.
Oh, do we wish? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is my first line to her gonna be, "I am weed"? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine what my first words would be.
I
I generally try to think, if I was in those situations, I would just play it off like, "Hey, been here, done that," you know? I'm not gonna be
She's
rude.
like, she's asked you, you smell like weed, cause I'm fucking high, bitch. Cause I fucking smoked.
Hey, yeah.
Captain Obvious.
I lit up before this. What's up? What you trying to do?
What you trying to do? I mean, and again, that could be in however you say that.
Oh,
That could work or not work.
Oh, absolutely.
However
I
you
was
say
fucking
that.
around,
That's
folks.
yes.
Clearly, that's not what I was saying to make
Yeah.
fun. But you get the gist of it.
Yeah. But
I'm-
hey, bro,
I'm
that
not-
could work.
I'm not saying what MGK is saying is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Um,
What's next on the topic list? 'Cause we'll get off of that.
really has me rattled.
Yeah. So you flustered.
I guess we could. This would be a little bit more serious one. We could go. Since we're kind of talking about sports and Dodgers, we could do the John Gruden and his racist, homophobic, misogynistic emails and comments
Okay.
that were found.
I'll preface this with
He's the Raiders head coach, by the way.
yes, head coach for the Raiders. He won a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Tony Dungy's team. Neither here nor there. He used to be the head coach for the Raiders. Retired. Well, actually got fired, I think, and then just
got fired.
didn't get back into coaching. Was working at ESPN during this time period. His brother was working at the Washington with the Washington football team.
While he was at ESPN for
Yeah.
all those in between years, he was a commentator.
And he worked under Bruce Allen, who was an executive over there for that team. He worked under him at the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah.
So
It's I don't know why. We were talking about this earlier today. Just that generation of people solely communicate through emails.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand why. To me, emails isn't fast enough. Like I've tried, like even when I communicate with people, it's like, I got your number, bro. I'll just call you. I don't really like. If you send an email, sometimes people don't get the notification. I get it if you're at your desk all day. Like you'll pop up and you'll communicate. It's more professional, quote unquote, or is it more professional just to call and get whatever you need done?
Yeah, I think of my parents, and they weren't tech savvy like he was, but my parents would be the first thing they would do is they call. Mm-hmm. It's just the easiest. It's the easiest, quickest way to do it.
Yeah, maybe in that industry, I guess you would say, quote unquote, it's just more professional. But also, everything's on record, and I think that's why you communicate through email, because you have receipts of what you communicate. Like with us, communicating with wholesalers and retailers and this and that and the third. And it's like, yeah, so you have it on record that you like what you said.
It's professional to do that.
Professional, yeah. Well, this dumbass decided he wanted to have conversations that you would, if you're a closet racist, you would have in private, either over the phone. Well, I mean, unless you're like the Clippers owner, or if you're, I guess, chilling with your other friends that share the same ideologies as you.
Same sentiments.
Yep. And he decided like,
I'm gonna send these through email, and he made some racially insensitive remarks about the head of the NFLPA, DeMaurice Smith, and homophobic remarks about Michael Sam, saying that Jeff Fisher was forced to hire him. What else? He was sending naked photos of the cheerleaders
Oh, the football team.
of Washington football team cheerleaders. Like, it's a lot of shit. There's even more about like what was it about women in the NFL? They shouldn't be officiating. They shouldn't be this. They don't know anything. This and that and third. Mind you, and this is America for you. John Gruden don't know his education. Obviously, he's not very smart. He's making fun and being racially insensitive to a guy that is I think he graduated from the University of Virginia, and he's a lawyer.
Yeah, that's why he got the NFLPA job.
Exactly. A guy that's way more accomplished than him
In all facets.
in
of life.
all facets of life.
Except football.
Except a spider web 2 banana, whatever the fuck. Like, and that's a play John Gruden. That's one of John Gruden's plays.
Yes.
That he's notorious for. And he wants to make comments like these other people are way more qualified and educated than him, but he thinks he's smarter than everybody else. And this is from 2011 to 2018, 650,000 emails. And I'm not going to name the podcast, but somebody from this podcast I'm referencing thought that they're reading every email of 650,000.
It's called a keyword search. You
Keyword
fucktards.
search. And you type in keywords, and those emails pop up of the 650,000.
Absolutely, because we were talking about it. I was like, I guarantee you, what happened was somebody came across an email and like, oh wow, he's he's really saying some stuff. And after that, it's free game in terms of, well, what else is he writing?
Yeah, what you just go on the branches of the racist tree of you just start typing in words,
racially insensitive words.
racially insensitive words, and see what comes up. Is there on this branch, like what comes up, and how many times did he say this, and like what are the instances?
Well, he said something racist. All right,
Yeah.
well let's just search up gay.
Yeah, or those slurs.
And those slurs. And guess what?
Hey,
found him.
You found the branch. Like, and that's just from him. And it's funny because it's not funny, but this is just how karma works. It's ironic because he wasn't being investigated. The Washington football team was being investigated because of all the shit that's going on over there.
Yeah.
And he popped up.
The FBI like issued a subpoena against one of their trainers.
Bro, do you know how dumb? And I've been listening to sports talk shows all day. Do you know how dumb you have to be to think you could send this in an email to an NFL executive? Like those things aren't being monitored or would be monitored, and that's not like anything that's put on a public or forum is gonna be there.
Oh yeah.
And anything to do with the internet, it's up there, no matter what. And they also said like, every other organization's weeding through their emails as we speak.
Oh, absolutely. You have to know that.
You have to now.
Yeah.
Like,
and what I loved about it is
because who else did he talk to?
dude, who knows? But and a lot of players have come out and be like, "Oh yeah, no, I guarantee you keep searching stuff, you're gonna find it on your GMs, your coaches, everything."
You'd be shocked.
And what I did like about it was kind of like the ballsy move that the NFL had in terms of like they had them by the ball. They had the Raiders by the balls. They pretty much said, if you don't fucking do something about it, they're telling the owner, Mark Davis, if you don't do something about your fucking coach, we're gonna keep releasing shit. And there was, I guarantee, it was somebody like not tied with the NFL, but has close relations.
Yeah.
Hey, the NFL's not gonna do it, but they're gonna hand it to somebody who's gonna put you on blast.
Yeah.
Get rid of your fucking guy.
Yeah. And now this is where it becomes even more ironic. So the most progressive team in the NFL is the Oakland Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders.
The Las Vegas Raiders. They had the first African American head coach, the first Latino head coach. They had the first female executive. They've had a lot. They've been on the forefront.
Yeah.
Of this since Al Davis was around before he passed away. That was what he prided himself on, and like that organization, like we're just gonna get the right people in here. We're gonna do the right thing, and just win. Like is whatever's conducive to winning.
Just win, baby. That's it. That's his slogan.
And
just win.
To have this guy come into the organization for the second time, and he has a player that came out this year of being gay.
Yeah.
on his team.
The first Carl Nassib, the first ever.
Active NFL, because Michael Sam was coming in and I don't think he really played.
No, I
it
don't
was
think he
his
made
preseason.
yeah, he didn't make the roster for the regular
Exactly.
season.
So it's like, bro, you pass by this guy every day. Your team is probably 85% African, like black. It's like, how do you go into that locker room?
Oh, he could never go back.
You
into
can't.
locker
You
room.
can't. And he coached on Sunday.
Yeah.
And this information was made known on, I guess, Friday.
Yeah.
And this is weird how the world works, because Arturo, I don't think Arturo's seen it yet. The Dave Chappelle stand-up, The Closer. Fuck. That's 2 runs.
No, it's 1 run.
1? Okay.
Mookie's got an arm.
So
1 to 4. Fuck.
the sentiment behind The Closer, the whole encompassing theme of what Dave was trying to talk about was, it's not an issue when people are oppressing black people, minorities.
Yeah.
He's speaking black people specifically, but he's speaking about minorities in
Yeah.
general,
He could speak to his experience
Yes,
and how
exactly.
bad they are. Yeah.
specifically to black people. But it's when you cross into the other minorities of the LGBTQ and that world that's where it's like, no, we draw the line.
Yeah.
So people are willing to look past racism. They're willing to make excuses for it. They're willing to say, you know what, that person's changed. They don't think this anymore. You know, he's a changed man, which is what they were trying to say on Friday when he was 41 years old sending those emails. And it's like, I get it. Like, if you're digging up a tweet from somebody when they were like fucking 15, like, yeah, fucking idiot.
Yeah, you're
Don't know
ignorant.
anything.
You're ignorant at that age.
You're
arrogant.
you're speaking like you're on Call of Duty.
Yeah.
That's a grown ass man. He's 41 saying all that and doing all
Going
this.
through all his walks of life, meeting all these different types of people,
and
and
that's
he
just
still
on
says it.
email.
Yeah,
That's just what you could find.
Yeah, imagine what he's saying out loud.
Exactly. Amongst people he feels comfortable, because obviously he feels comfortable with the executives over there.
Yeah.
So imagine his
Yeah.
personal friends.
No, that's very true.
So it's like,
And he's the head of your team, the guy that you signed 10 years, $100 million contract. I mean, they're getting out of it now.
but
The Raiders try to get ahead of it, and we're going to try to work with it on Friday, when it was just having to do with racism. Of
Yeah.
like, he's a changed man now. There was former players and former colleagues of his that were coming to his defense and saying, like, he's not like that. He's a changed man now. But when it came to Sunday, of when everything else came out of his homophobic remarks and, massage, like all that, that's when he resigned the next day
Yeah.
in the late hours on Monday. And it's like,
Because they knew they might be able to get away with the racist remarks.
yeah,
But if you're gonna have misogyny and homophobia in it,
yeah,
you can't do that.
which to me, that's like, well, no, like that was a fireable offense on Friday.
Yeah, no, the first one should have been, oh, hey, you're not coaching on Sunday,
Yeah.
by the way.
And other people have come out and said the same thing. Shannon Sharp, to the same sentiment of what Dave was talking about. If you're listening,
Yeah.
if you're listening objectively,
you could give the baby example.
yeah, and I've heard people try to say like, oh, that's a different time period before DeBaby was DeBaby. No. I mean,
No.
well, this was a different time before John Gruden was the head coach.
That is true. While he was still in a powerful position.
Exactly. Like, oh, well, I mean, you're not. It's like there is no equality when it comes to like your offenses of. Yeah, but it's like as soon as you get to a certain area, it's like no, there's no coming back from that.
Yeah.
And it's not right to me. It's like no. If you're gonna be insensitive to all minorities, then all of it's fair.
Yeah.
If you attack one minority, then fireable offense. Nothing of like, you know what, we could work through this. You know what, he's gonna go to therapy. He's gonna do this and that. No. You're done.
in
They scored a run. So now it's 1-4. Sorry, folks.
okay, I thought they scored a run earlier.
I thought they did too, but no. They held him on.
It's that screen's far away.
It's hard, bro.
Do
We're
you have a
trying.
timer?
Yeah, bro. We're still going. We're
Oh,
still
okay,
good.
okay.
We got 30 seconds left.
Oh, okay.
Look at you.
Yeah, that's that mental clock right there.
Mental clock.
But yeah, that's how I fall on it as well. Is like no. Friday was a fireable offense. He should have been fired and not allowed to coach on Sunday, because I think he still got a check from Sunday.
Oh, he did.
Coaching.
No, he did.
And it's why do we protect people when they're racist, but when they offend other minority groups, that's not okay. It's like no. If you offend any minority group, it's not okay.
No, this should be across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's basically what people were arguing for, and that's what their response was.
But pretty much like, because I did watch a little bit of the Dave Chappelle stand up before I fell asleep because I'm old. He did make the example, and I think is what you're saying is no. It's like with the baby.
Mhm.
He obviously he's had a lot of controversy this year, talking bad about. He was homophobic in what the fuck
Yeah.
he was saying at that concert,
Yeah.
and that was the final straw. But he did bring up the point of like the fact that he killed. Wasn't it 2 black men?
He killed one guy in Walmart. He's killed 2 people before, but he just specifically brought up in the Walmart altercation.
Yeah, so pretty much what he was saying is like nobody has a problem when you like if this guy's a murderer, you don't have a problem with him being a murderer or him killing another black. Like you're not outraged about any of this, but the minute he says something about the LGBT community, now there's a problem. It's like if you're gonna be offended, at least be consistent with it. Is what I guess his sentiments were. Like be fair with how you're gonna be offended.
I'm all for fair.
Yeah,
I'm all for fair. And it's not like we're trying to say one offense is worse than the other. It's like no, it's all bad.
That's exactly.
It's all bad. We stand on the side of if it's bad, it's bad. There's no real gray area to me.
No. Because you can't be picky and choosy with it. If you're gonna do it, if you're gonna stand on a fucking stern line and be consistent with it, if you stand on top of that hill, be consistent with it, no matter what you're gonna do.
And I've heard Van Lathan's argument that he very eloquently put. I'm gonna paraphrase: is the reason other people, other groups accept trauma in the black community or even in the the brown community, like brown on brown crime, black on black crime, is because we glamorize it. We celebrate it through our music, what we talk about. We celebrate the artists that actually did it, the artists that do, like, think about the songs that we listen to. One of the biggest songs this past year was Back in Blood. And you think about from when hip hop was conceived on, it's like we celebrate that. Yeah. So other people are like, oh, well, then that's okay. And then when you get to the LGBTQ, they're like, no, you're not offending. You're not gonna be insensitive to us. You're not gonna throw insults. You're not gonna do anything. And they've stood on that ground since the beginning. So, in order for other people to respect that, you have to respect yourself.
Yeah, because that makes so much sense. Because think about it, like gangsta rap in the '90s, that's when it like really blew up. Like that was when it was a cultural phenomenon. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to be like, well, you're talking about all these killings and selling drugs and calling women bitches, this and that. And that's how they hear it. Granted, when you hear certain artists talking about, look, I'm not trying to glamorize this. I'm just trying to give you a perspective of what I live.
What my experience, my life experience up until this point.
Yeah, so people are going to hear it 2 different ways. But I could see the artist's argument for that.
Well, bro, think about, Mexican culture, bro. With the corridos.
Yeah. Oh, I personally hate narco corridos.
Yeah, and we know, I see it on my Instagram
every
lot.
Friday, Saturday.
I see everybody plays and listens to it a lot, and it's like, okay, you're knowingly, you're acknowledging and you're accepting it. Yeah. And then, but it's always you're okay with it until it personally affects you. Let one of your family members get tied up into this, or be like a bystander to it. Now since it's directly affecting you, it's bad. Yeah. But before it wasn't bad because you weren't attached to it. I mean, you're just celebrating something you know nothing about. Yeah. You can claim you know something about it. I don't know anything about being a narco, bro. But I'm not gonna go around listening to the music, glamorizing it, and like, I'm not gonna do that because I don't like.
To me, it's corny. Yeah. Because like and look, is there a lot of good banda and other good Mexican music? Oh, there's so much type of music out there, and especially in Mexican culture, that it baffles me why this is the one that's most glamorized and most talked about. It's fucking frustrating to me because it's the one thing that's destroyed. And if you're pro Latino, if you're pro Mexican, and you listen to it and you support it, to me it's backward as fuck. The only reason I say that is because it's fucking destroyed our country. Yeah. There's been millions of people already affected by it. I've known plenty of people. I've seen, like, and even my parents, like, it's directly affected them. Like, we've seen what it's become. Yeah. Like, it would be nice if I could. It'd be nice if I could go back to our home state.
I can't even go back and visit where my grandparents are from.
No, and by the way, my grandparents are there right now. But even they tell me, like, no, dude, you're not going because like, look at you. Like, you're gonna be a target no matter what. Look at me. But it's just one of those things. It's like I've wrote on this so long. I've told first and foremost that I hate that fucking music.
Mhm.
Because it's like, oh, if you're gonna love our country and you're gonna be pro this, pro that, all right. Well, there's a bunch of other fucking things in our culture that you could love.
Mhm.
Selling drugs and all. I'm like, to me, it's corny. That's why I don't even watch those fucking shows. Those shows.
I do,
irritate
but
me.
that's just because I love what I love about it is learning like the historical context of it, and it's a really good show.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not directly tied
Yeah.
to any of it, so I'm getting educated through this show, or like it's the same thing like growing up and watching Gangland.
Yeah. I guess it's in the past too. So
it's in the past. It's like it's so far. It's like from the fucking 80s.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, bro, I'm not connected to this at all. It's not like a documentary going on about currently like my neighborhood. So it doesn't hit me the same. And you're learning about like how this even came to fucking be, to where you can't even film in Mexico because they tried and one of their workers got killed.
He got murked on the
Yeah.
spot.
And it's like, that's fucking crazy. How did it get to here?
Yeah.
Well, this show is kind of showing you how it got to here, if you're willing to watch it or not. It's not meant to really glamorize, but that's how it comes off. And
I don't. I just look at it very differently.
because I didn't grow up listening to that.
Yeah.
So I have a different set of eyes of like, I didn't grow up listening to it. Like my aunts and uncle, my tios and tias would play, chente and stuff like when we were drinking. I don't know what's really going, like I don't speak the language. I don't know anything that's going on. I don't even know what he's singing about. And then to slowly learn, and we had a conversation about this on Saturday. I'm like, I can tell the difference between old corridos and new ones just
Yeah.
by the style of how it's being sung.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I feel like, and this is just being, objective as possible, is like, I feel like it was way more creative back then than it is now because it's more melodic and they're actually singing.
Oh, absolutely.
Now-
You couldn't get away back then with talking.
Yeah.
Unless you had a fucking beautiful, eloquent voice. And there's people
Same,
that
same
had
thing
it.
with like R&B back in the day too. You had to be a singer.
Yeah, that is true.
It's
We
like,
weren't gonna get carried by production.
now we more focused on say what you need to say.
Yeah.
Back then it's like, no, serenade. Like, tell me in a beautiful way possible about this music.
Because to me, I see it as back in the day, and this goes with a lot of different things. We took things for what they were, not what we see at face value. Right now, we see things at face value in terms of it being superficial. A lot of people that are pushed, a lot of the new artists,
yeah.
they want to push a certain look, push a certain thing, and it's like, oh, bro, it's not even about what you're saying. It's just about like who you are as like
image.
the image.
It's image over art.
Yeah, and that's what it's come to. And I feel, and that's not even just for like Latin music. That's for a lot of
No,
things.
that's what we've come to in general is what's your look? What is that? And then also that it don't fucking don't butter me up with it. Just tell me what you need to say. Especially when it comes to hip hop now. It's like just say what you need to say.
Yeah.
Don't like we're kind of getting back to
Well, Logic's trying to tell you, bro.
Shut the fuck. Oh my god.
like now we're getting back to like with Griselda and stuff. It's like the true artistry of being a lyricist, but and they balance it out with what's going on of like the lo-fi beats and being melodic in certain spots and ad-libbing, and they're doing it. It's a perfect blend of what past, present, and where music's gonna go.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
What I think is the proper values.
And even then, what they're rapping about.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And
No,
it's like, well, fuck. It sounds good. It didn't directly, affect me. I think I do get weirded out when, like, saying like drill music when they say, we're smoking on whatever pack.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's somebody. With Griselda, they don't name anybody.
They don't name anybody, but
Yeah, they don't name anybody. I feel like that one from that one artist that's from Ace Youngin, I think from Florida, where he named everybody he killed in a song, and it's like,
no foresight on that one.
I mean, I think he did get arrested because they just probably were gonna play his song as reference.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, like he was like, who I shot, and he just started naming people, and that's where it's like I only heard about the song, I didn't listen to it, and that's something I'm gonna be playing a lot because it's like that's where it gets real morbid.
Yeah, I don't even in like the hip hop and the stuff I listen to. Like, do it like is it fun to talk about like them beefing and them like fighting and stuff? Hey, sure, why not? When it comes to like killing and like it actually hurts people, it's like at that point it's like I don't care to hear that. And it's the same. And it's the same for all my types of music, bro. It's
there's like you have to draw a line. What do you want to stand on, and what don't you? Do you want to cross that line and talk about like murdering people and this and that? Cool, that's for you. That's for you. I personally don't want to fucking hear that.
I think if that's what you're talking about, you don't have much to say.
For me personally, tell me what you lived. Tell me what you lived, as long as it's authentic. If you never lived it, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Which,
I
by
don't.
the way,
I'll give you a little history lesson on this too. So, and this is what I write on in terms of like narco corridos. They get hired. These artists get hired by these people in the cartel to sing about their legends.
Yeah.
That's all. Like that's what a corrido is. It's a
Yeah.
leyenda. It's a legend.
Yeah.
So they get paid. So it's not like these artists are living that life.
No.
Now, do they eventually get tied in? Some maybe. I don't know. Most of the time, not really. But they get paid and they get contracted, and this is what you're gonna sing about. You're talking about my legends and this and that. So it's not like they're singing about their own shit. You know.
It's the same thing about Sinatra singing for the mafia. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just different because I mean Mexicans are very extreme. But it's
are.
like Sinatra singing for the mafia, and like some other artist could be singing, to a specific, oh, what's the name I'm looking for? But just like a specific gang,
Yeah.
and like they're
In a
representing
neighborhood
the
that they grew up
neighborhood,
in.
or the name I was looking for is like a drug, like I'm thinking about like fucking
Kingpin? Or-
yeah, Kingpin, like just a drug cartel, like. But like I'm trying to think about what the name is for other cultures. But either way, like I get it. But to
You
an
see, with
extent,
Griselda, it's like, oh, you did that.
yeah, they already served time for what they did.
Yeah.
And it's like you lived it. Now you're telling me your story. You're not telling me someone else's story. You're not telling me it's just what you think I want to hear. Like I know you did that.
Yeah.
And you're not saying it in a sense of glamorizing yourself.
That was a hit and run, first third. Let's go, baby. 4-1.
Okay, thank God.
We're good. No outs.
It's
guy
like
still
you're not
stinks.
you're not telling me you killed these people and that's why you think you're cool.
Yeah.
Or I would kill you. It's like
Yeah.
no. Like I'm just telling you what I've done.
Yeah, this is what I had to do to get by or to survive. And
And I respect that you have a story. Tell me your story. Don't
Yeah.
tell me a story.
most of the time, like when you see people that talk about that type of shit, like at least with Griselda, they'll be honest with you. They'll tell you exactly what they did, and they'll tell you like, oh, I've grown from that. Like I'm not in the streets anymore like that. I don't need to be doing this. Like
I'm not trying to promote that.
Yeah, and that you could see and respect the growth. It's like, fuck, look, well, I'm not a fan of you having to kill somebody, but I mean, I'm also never been in that situation. If I'm held at gunpoint or I'm against a rival person, like I don't know. So how am I supposed to judge you for doing that? You know. Now, if that's all they were doing and that's all they're trying to glamorize, then you'd be like, that's kind of, to me, it's corny. But
Yeah.
that's not what they're doing.
Yeah. And it's the way it's done. It's
Yeah.
presented in a very unique way.
Bro, which is, I forgot,
This isn't even a topic that we brought up.
like this whole Jenny 69 thing.
Yes. That's also something that happened over the 2 weeks.
Yeah. By the way, god awful, right?
She's god awful.
Like this isn't, it's not even up for discussion.
No.
Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page here.
She was trending for the wrong reason. She became a joke for about 2 weeks now.
And I think she meant to do that on purpose. If I'm gonna be a betting man, she did that on purpose. She knew what she was doing by putting out a bad song.
I believe when you're an influencer like that, any type of conversation about you is good.
Yeah, that's
And
what I mean.
that's how they view it.
So I'll give. It's the second time. Oh my god. We're in a pickle. We're in a pickle.
Damn,
He got thrown out, motherfucker.
Well,
God damn it, Gavin. He's a young pup. It is what it is. But no, she knew what she was doing, and I'll give her that.
God
I mean,
awful song.
if that's her marketing ploy, then good for her. I mean, you know what you're doing. Good for you. But it's like I just hope that this doesn't become a thing where she actually becomes like a real artist.
I
And
think she thinks.
I hope morons don't like elevate her, like what happened with 6ix9ine. Morons elevated.
Well, according to her, she was first. She was
she
the first
might be.
6ix9ine.
Hey, you know what? She might be.
In her world,
I don't know that. She could be.
there's no new original idea under the sun, man. There's probably somebody else before you.
Way long ago.
Who knows? You know. Yeah, that song was really bad, and
But kudos to her because now she's popping.
I guess that's what
But we'll see. We'll see what she does with this. So that's what I'm.
with
like,
this music specifically. I mean, she was already famous for her YouTube and doing makeup tutorials and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
And
So
it-
she already made her money.
And if she and if she did that to even like bolster all that up, good for you. I just hope she doesn't keep making music.
For
I'm
our
not,
sake.
Yeah, I'm not one to like be like don't do something, but I hope somebody on our team's like, look, you did one. It's funny. Ha ha ha. We don't got to do this again.
Yeah,
You'd
could
hope
be
she
like The
has
Rock.
I don't know what you're talking about, bro, because he dropped a fire song.
Oh my god,
Bro, I don't know if you felt this. To me, it felt like,
I couldn't listen to it.
well, not that I couldn't listen to it, but he was rapping, and it was so bad, and it was so unauthentic. If he would have said, like, the N-word, I would have been like, oh, that's racist. And he's part black. But he was sounding in such a way where it's like, hey, bro, you shouldn't even be saying the N-word.
Yeah,
It was that
I'm a
bad.
very positive, optimistic person. I want
not?
people to do whatever they want to do.
Go
Who am I
ahead.
to tell you not to?
Go ahead,
you know?
try it out.
But it does not mean I gotta listen to it. It doesn't even mean I have to like it. I respect you attempting. I respect you going for it. And fuck, bro, bravo, you're doing more than 99% of the population by trying. People don't try as much as you think people try, or you think people care. People don't fucking care. People want you to be as miserable as them.
Yeah.
People want you to not go for your dreams. They don't want you to try. They don't want you to. Why take a risk? Hey, you're not good at that. I mean, I could be if I practice, but why would you even do that? You know?
That's lame.
Yeah, they want you to be just as miserable as them. Misery loves company. And fuck it. Maybe The Rock has wanted to do a song his whole life. He went to the U in the 90s. Hey, he probably heard about Greg the Third Leg.
You damn right.
Listen to or go watch that documentary. The U 30 for 30. You'd understand that
Phenomenal.
reference. Shout out Greg Olson.
What you do, get head. But
And he's like, I'm just a guy trying to fit in.
Hey, bro,
I'm a
he's-
freshman on campus. I go to the University of Miami. I'm a white guy.
he's the whitest guy that can be. He's one of the whitest guys ever.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
hey, he tried to fit in. Kudos to him for
white guy
trying.
from New Jersey trying to fit in with everybody.
You know what I just thought about? The Rock. Is that like if you haven't seen it, go on Twitter and look it up.
he was in the
Rock
2 Live
rapping.
Crew era.
Yes,
of
yes.
the U.
But what I'm saying to the Rock rapping, it reminds me of like when John Cena was rapping.
Oh,
like that's
God.
what it's equivalent to. It's
It
like,
is equivalent to that.
I understand what you're doing, and this just sounds bad, but I mean, I guess it's like a little gimmick.
It's living, not just a gimmick, but hey, like maybe he dreamt about that. You know, living a dream. Like, who am I to shit on your dream? Now
I
can
know,
I can
but-
say I don't like it. It's not for
Yeah.
me. It's not for me.
Eminem fans are gonna love it.
It's just
You don't have to
it's-
call out Eminem fans like that.
I mean, like, and this is perfect example of where we are in music. You don't like it was on an Immortal Technique song. No, Tech Nine. It was on a
Tech
Tech
Nine.
Nine song.
If you
It was
know
on
anything
a-
about Tech Nine,
If you know anything about Tech Nine, it sounds like it would be on a Tech Nine song.
Mhm.
Tech Nine does millions with tours and merch. There is a lane for what he does.
yeah,
He makes millions off of merch. Now, that's not where mainstream is now. Why? Because you don't need to fucking lyrical miracle me to death and show me how well you could rhyme these words and be like a walking thesaurus. Just fucking say what you need to say. I don't care that you rapped the same syllable for 2 minutes. What did you say?
Yes.
Did you say anything? Like, I don't want to have an associate's degree to understand what you're talking about, J. Cole.
J. Cole. Shout out Jermaine.
That's an old fucking joke. But that's just where music is. Say
Yeah.
what you gotta say, even if you don't say anything.
Say what you need to say.
Even if you don't fucking say,
Say what
there's
you
also a
need to
lane of
say.
you didn't say anything, but you did something remarkable where you made your voice an instrument. That's like where Young Thug and Gunna and like these
Hey,
these
now
other
Gunna saying shit.
Gunna's not saying fucking shit, bro. I'll be
He's
the
saying
first
the
to tell
same
you.
thing he said in the last few albums.
He's not.
And I'm still intrigued.
He's just naming random designers and
Eddie.
random drugs that he's doing, and your bitch is there with him.
Yeah, bro,
If you can't find her, she's with Gunna.
hey, bro, now I'm still intrigued. He still got a chokehold on me.
Yeah,
Still listening.
still listening to this day.
Some people have that talent.
And that's a talent. That's something that needs to be studied.
Mm-hmm.
Of why is this captivating?
So what you're saying is The Rock had neither of those things.
Neither of those things, no. But what he did, Immortal Tech 9 fans are gonna love it. Eat it up. And The Rock might pop out at a show when Tech 9's on tour.
That would actually be kind of cool.
Right?
That's cool. I could respect that.
Well, what's he gonna do if he doesn't have a song, bro? Just walk out there?
Can't do
No,
that.
he's got to have a verse.
Can't do that.
He's got to perform.
Has to.
And then when he becomes president, you're gonna bring up that footage, like, look at our president right there.
Rapping on a song.
And that would be him living another dream.
Good for him. You know what? Genius on his part.
Genius.
And you know, maybe Jenny 69 doing the same thing.
maybe.
I don't know.
And what I will say to both of those things, I don't have to like it.
It's true.
I don't have to listen.
I can
I don't need to download.
I can respect you for doing it.
But I can respect the attempt. I will always respect the attempt.
Gotcha.
Now I may judge how the attempt went.
That's very true.
Fuck it.
I just thought of something right now that happened in the last 2 weeks. And I feel like we should. I feel like we should bring it up. And the only reason I say that is because I was thinking of Jenny 69 right now, and she shouted out Riverside. Speaking of Riverside County specifically,
Riverside motherfucker.
we had a sheriff.
Oh, Bianca.
Oh,
Fuck.
Is that
That's
off?
gone.
Nah,
Nah, damn it.
it's not carrying, but we
But
did score a
tag.
run. Did you get thrown out third? Don't you dare.
No, he didn't.
All right, now 5-1. Still got runners on second and third. 2 outs. We're good, baby.
We're good.
Hey, let those flags fly.
Are we in the 5th or 6th?
Huh? We are in the 5th.
Okay.
I think it's 5. It looks like it.
I could be wrong. But yes, our sheriff came out with something rather controversial.
Would it be the first time?
Wouldn't be the first time. He's
Is he a proud boy?
you could say that. He was, I think he was back in, I think the year was 2013, 2014. He was a contributor. He was a member of a certain, what they're known now as like an alt-right type of party. And his argument was, and he could, and we talked about this before, he could have spun it in such a way where he would have been fine. He would have cleared his hands. Oh, wow.
Oh, that's gone.
Oh, gone forever.
That's fucking.
Aaron Hernandez, never mind.
Damn it.
At the warning track, bro. Something out.
It's the weather or something.
Bro, the ball's not carrying. This is fucking horsecock. Sorry, folks. I don't mean to get this aggressive. I just have a concern. Oh, it's against that guy, too. It's a fucking submarine guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. What I was telling you is he could have cleared his hands. He could have dusted off. Been so smart about this. He could have been like, you know what? Yes, I was a member back in the year 2013, 2014. It was only for a year. I was kind of in it. Didn't really like it. Didn't support what they're saying, so I kind of backed out. That he could have said that.
Admitting blame.
Yes, he could have got.
Saying I'm wrong.
He could have done that. What did he do? No, sir. I'm doubling down. What he said was, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here. He's pretty much saying, and there is something to the sentiment of like, look, they are all about the Constitution, about protecting the Constitution. If me protecting the Constitution and being a member of that makes me all right, then call that what you want. He's like, my job is to protect the Constitution. It's what I'm sworn into. It's what I serve. That's what I'm stand on. Call it what you want. So essentially, he doubled down in terms of like, yeah, okay, that's fine with me.
And if that group got together and put sheets over their head, he's like, no, I'm only here for the Constitution aspect of this.
Yeah, I don't think he's saying that.
No.
Who knows? Which, by the way, which is a shocker to me. They set this on a podcast. I didn't even know he's on a, like, they have a podcast. There's two sheriffs.
Wow.
It's him and somebody else.
Is it 2 sheriffs, 1 pod?
It might be called that. Who knows? Which is beyond me. Because we were talking about it too. Like, oh, bro, that would be so cool to, like, get, like, I think part of the disconnect between, like law enforcement and regular people nowadays is there's no relatability. I can't connect to you. You're not even from my community. I've had nothing but bad experiences. Okay, if we know that there's such a disconnect, well, what can bring people together? Things like podcasts, things like shows, things like...
Let me hear how you think.
Yeah, let me try to see if I can relate to you. And then maybe I can understand. Like, I was talking to you about it. I was like, dude, if they could have just spun this away of like, oh, this is what we deal with on a day-to-day. Try to kind of see their vantage point.
Yeah.
Have some empathy. But I saw this shit. I'm like, oh, bro, now you just sound like 2 fucking douchebags on a fucking... on
What
a podcast.
did you say they were wearing their full uniform?
Their full uniforms. Which is
Yeah.
already kind of bad.
That's bad.
That's douchey. Hey, bro, I would have been okay if you would have like wore like some military type of pants and like an Under Armour shirt, like even if
like
it's like
Jocko Willenick?
yes, even if it's like prototypical like law enforcement look. It's
Yeah.
your hey, bro, you're off duty. Go ahead.
Just wear your civvies, dude. Wear whatever the fuck you wear when you're not in uniform.
Yeah.
You don't go to the grocery store in full uniform on your day off.
I
hope.
I would hope not.
I would hope not. But it's almost like, yeah, I get it. You love your Constitution. You love to protect your rights.
That's why you're a police officer.
That's why you're a police officer. I would hope you would.
Protect and serve.
Mm-hmm. But it's this thing of what I feel like people are not understanding, especially from that group. They get very defensive, but they're failing to see if who you associate yourself with if the majority of that group represents these other ideologies, you're also saying you support them as well. You are who your friends are. Like, I remember my dad saying that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
When I went to this fucking first grade, and my dad was like, show me who your friends are, I'll show you who you are. You are who your friends are. You are who you surround yourself with. You represent your friends. So show me who they are.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, if I associate with a certain group of people and they're known, like, let's just throw some, like, if they're known to be Dodger fans, they would think like, hey, bro, if you're hanging with 5 Dodger fans, you're probably the 6th.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That's an easy way to do it. Now, if I'm hanging out with 5 racists, they're gonna say you're the 6th,
yeah.
no matter what. Like, no, I just love my country. No, you're racist because you support and you choose to associate yourself. Now I get it. You could have friends with people that don't support certain and they think differently. I have friends that are anti-vax. That's fine, but where I'm gonna draw the line is when it becomes blatantly racist or it just goes into wrong.
Yes.
And
Which he didn't try and argue at all.
mm-hmm.
He was just so negligent at the fact of like,
Look, the alt-right ties are very bad, and he didn't even care about it. He's like, I don't care. That's
Yeah.
If that's your opinion on it, if you think I'm all right, whatever. I don't care about that.
Such a bitch move.
and I'm like, oh well, that's just you
That's
not being.
just a bitch.
That's one, not trying to be considerate and not trying to show awareness, or you're
Yeah.
just not being aware. It's like, oh, I don't have time to care about what you think.
I've noticed that from
Come on, bro.
From that side, it's like you say sometimes those people say things in such a bitch way.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even respect your response.
No.
You're trying to sass me. You're wearing these fucking boot cut jeans and a fucking tight ass Under Armour shirt. Never, like, it's just this certain, and I know that, like, I never didn't listen to the podcast. I heard about this and it didn't shock me at all because of his stance when the mask mandate came out. I'm not gonna do this. They can, if they want to do this, not in my job description, blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah. His hard ass stance, and then he got fucking COVID.
Him and all his family got.
Him
COVID.
and all his family got fucking COVID. What everyone was trying to protect you from.
Yeah. He's like, I don't care. Bring it on.
Hey, these colors don't run. COVID ain't gonna get through this
Hey,
badge.
But clearly it did.
Hey, COVID knows Blue Lives Matter.
Hey, you know what? COVID got through that bulletproof vest. Clearly.
Oh, and COVID said, "Oh, I'm pussy." Oh, I'm pussy.
Hey, COVID said it'd be a real shame.
Hey, he's like, hold on, I'm gonna come back. Hey, I'm gonna come back with my whole Delta. I'm gonna get through this motherfucker right here.
Oh, you're Alpha Squad? Well, I
Yeah.
got Delta Squad.
I got Delta Squad. I was thinking about this earlier because I saw people that are anti-vax post like from Shaun of the Dead at the end of the movie
Yes,
where
yes.
he's kicking. He's me kicking with my vaccinated homie,
Mhm.
and I'm like, pretty soon it's gonna be the other way around. Me kicking it with my unvaccinated homie because all these damn variants. I was just laughing to myself.
We got a bunch of fucking Loki variants running
Yeah.
around.
But it doesn't shock me in the least bit. And it's like what you're trying to advocate for, there's a human element to being a police officer or a sheriff,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely. And you should show empathy. It's a very
Yeah.
tough job.
But it's hard when the people that speak for them don't even acknowledge that aspect.
No.
And they say, bring it, bitch.
Yeah, it's like, what do you want me to say to that?
You trying to come for my guns? Like nobody even brought up your guns.
Nobody
You're trying to
cares.
come for my fucking gun.
Bro, nobody cares about
With their
your
hand on
fucking gun.
hand on their holster, come for it.
Yeah.
I never even brought up your gun once, sir.
To me, it's just very pussy energy.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. I just see I see all these opportunities as ways, because I'm always like to think of the fact of like, look, we might not get along in a lot of different ways, but we can find a way to like come together. You can relate to almost anybody. There is a way to do it.
You
And
can
I
find
wish-
common ground. You can find common ground if you look for it.
Yes, and I wish they thought that too. And then I see them go about it like this, and I'm like,
No.
now I know you're choosing to do the
Yeah.
opposite.
They're very much no. You come to me.
Yeah, it's like
I
well,
don't need to go in your world.
that's like a child's mentality.
Yeah. No, they are very much children.
Yeah.
They barely have a high school education. But it's like, it's
Fucking
just that
shame.
way. If there's no second level thinking.
No.
There's no second level thinking. There's no empathy, even the reverse way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what do you want me to do? You know, for a fact, there's probably people that work in the police force that are, vaccinated. They're, pro-choice. They're what is it?
Liberal?
They're
Progressive.
progressive. What's the term for being super, like, it's alt-right and just liberal? There's no like
Yeah, just
it's just liberal. Okay. Well, and I know that they're there as well. But the problem,
or leftist, I guess.
or yeah, far left, whatever.
Far left, yeah.
The problem is those people aren't in high speaking condition, like they're positions to where
Very rarely.
they're not on the forefront. They're just in the ranks.
Well, yeah, because if you think about it, people that are on the left that are progressive are usually people of minority.
Mm-hmm.
Usually,
Oh, that's not. Is that a coincidence?
So
Think not.
coincidence, I think not.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. Hey, would I personally love for there to be somebody with a little bit more experience that looks like me in my community that I can relate to? Sure, but they're not going to do that.
They're not gonna allow that.
No, why would they?
And then, I mean, since we kind of alluded to it. What was the next topic? Well, I was just gonna throw in Kyrie Irving right now.
Oh, we could. I want to talk a little bit about like indigenous people.
Okay, go for it.
Well, previously known as, and what we knew as our whole life as Christopher Columbus Day,
Christopher
just
Columbus
passed
Day.
on. What was it Monday?
It was on Monday.
Monday.
It's now Indigenous people.
It's now indigenous people. No, yes and no, because as we've talked about, the non-developed, non-progressive people, Texas, they choose to keep it as Christopher Columbus Day. There's a lot of states. There's a lot of states that choose to stay with no. We're sticking with Columbus Day.
Of course, and if you probably go to check that, they're probably all red states as well.
Majority of them, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't shock me. I mean, I still don't like when we learned the true history about it. I'm like, why do we keep celebrating this? Why? Like, why do we in Thanksgiving? Why?
Yes,
I understand it's the family's chance to get together and like the
That's
meaning,
beautiful. That's
the
beautiful.
meaning, the sentiment of Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
But what if we role played Thanksgiving and afterwards half the family just murked the other half of the family?
That's how most Thanksgivings almost get to.
Like, what if we role played the actual Thanksgiving and people would be like, what the fuck are we doing?
Why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this? What are we celebrating exactly? What are we thankful for? You whatever you're thankful right now, you're not gonna be thankful for later.
Because it's about to be gone.
Because it's about to be gone. It's got to be gone with the wind.
Mm-hmm.
And it shouldn't be a thing. Christopher Columbus. I mean, and I saw a post that said, "Today's the day where indigenous Native Americans discovered Christopher Columbus because he was lost."
Yes. Like us talking about MGK and his response of "I am weed" is the same dumbass sentiment of Christopher Columbus discovering. What did you discover? There was already people here.
You can't
discover something. It's like, oh, look what I found. It's like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? What you found? Like we've
been
been here.
People here.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's the same dumbass. Like it's to me, it's the same thing. No offense. Well,
It's
all
offense.
offense.
All
Fucking
offense.
MGK. It's like your dumbass remark and Christopher Columbus are just about the same thing.
It's just as dumb. And I remember in a old podcast saying, and those same people that came over here from what was it, England, London, whatever, came here and they had no originality in renaming states to develop the United States of America.
Oh,
And
so just call it new.
just put new in front of it. It's
We
like
got England. Got it. New England. I'll never see this coming.
It's like, bro, that's what your allegiance, not your, I guess your allegiance, like that's what you're proud of.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. That's why you're here, because you're not indigenous to here.
No, not at all.
You burn up in the sun.
What kind of terrible evolutionary trait is
You're
that?
not meant to be here.
Not at all.
And
Yeah, man.
it always gets back
To colonialism.
to, yeah, always does.
Yeah, it
And
should,
just say what Greg Popovich
tragic,
said.
tragic.
Greg Popovich is probably going to go down as one of the greatest NBA coaches of all time.
Shout out Greg Popovich. And he's, hey, Adam, you follow this.
I informed you of it.
Ex-military.
Ex-military. He
Or
was in
actually,
the Air Force.
They don't like I don't think the term is ex-military. It's inactive. Cause
Inactive member.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I saw it somewhere where they don't like the whole ex-military because it's like it sounds like you got kicked out. Like no, they're just inactive members.
Yeah, inactive member of the Air Force.
Yes. So shout out Greg Popovich.
And enlighten the people. What he said.
Well, okay. So if you don't like, he's a very wiry older man. Very
Grumpy guy.
wiry. You gotta respect him, and he coaches in San Antonio, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Texas of all places. So him being as progressive as he is, I'm sure is a conundrum for him and frustrating living where he does.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he battles with it a lot, and he speaks out a lot. So good for him. A lot of people love him, but
Very progressive guy. Wasn't he the first to have a female assistant?
Female assistant, yes.
Yep.
And she's phenomenal too.
And she was an interim coach when he was out.
Yeah, yeah, and apparently she's a genius from what they say.
Yeah.
But he was pretty much saying what we all want to say. He has a platform. He was saying what kind of backward ass state is this where we're not still acknowledging this is Indigenous Peoples Day? We still choose to acknowledge this as Christopher Columbus Day. What for? What like what are we really celebrating here? And he was just trying to bring light to the fact of like what. Is this still what we're teaching? Is this still like why are we doing this still? Even he sees as old as he is, and it could be like, oh well, he's an old timer. That's how they think. Clearly not, because he's just as old as everybody else, and even he's like, this is what kind of backward ass fucking thinking is this?
Just as old as everybody else and was in the military.
What's your excuse now?
Yeah, sorry. And he's white, sorry.
Yeah, so clearly that's possible.
So all three of your check marks.
Hey, he's in Texas,
And he's in Texas. What the fuck?
so go ahead. He's checked off.
And
Almost
everybody
every
loves
box.
Greg Popovich.
Not one person has said anything bad. about
Everybody,
him.
I mean, everybody loves Greg
He's
Popovich.
also not pussy either, so I don't
Yeah.
think anybody would ever say anything bad.
Probably not.
Military. But it was just one of those things. It's like I heard that I'm like, thank you, and I'm sure because a lot of fans were they probably pissed off about it, yeah. And Greg Popovich is like, all right, eat a dick, I don't care.
Yeah, Hall of Famer right now.
Yeah, I'm good in my hood.
Mm-hmm. You're still gonna pay to watch me coach, so
Yeah.
joke's on you.
Who's get the last laugh?
Yeah,
It's just sad.
they don't like
It's-
it when the shoe's on the other foot, kicking them in the ass. You know.
It's sad to see. Sad to see. But shout out Greg Popovich for doing that.
Shout
I
out.
respect him.
Shout out Pop.
Shout out good old Pop. Did you want to end it off? What do you want to end it off with? Because you're gonna bring up something. Kyrie.
Oh, I was just gonna because we were talking about Bianco and his stances and stuff like that. And how Kyrie refuses to get the vaccination.
Kyrie Irving,
Kyrie
basketball player
Irving-
for the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, point guard for the Brooklyn Nets. He refuses to, and I get it. If you don't want to put anything in your body, you don't have to. You know.
That's your choice.
But as an organization, which the NBA is, if they mandate it, guess what? You don't have to play.
Mm-hmm.
You can if you want to. If not, hey,
There's other leagues out there in the world that you could
or
probably find.
just wait until we don't mandate it. You know, maybe. And I get it. I'm vaccinated. And that's just, I guess, me being biased on like, yeah, bro. I mean, tough luck, tough shit. Maybe if I was on the other side, maybe I wouldn't have that opinion.
No, you wouldn't.
So it's, but the way I view it is, if not to say if everybody jumps off a bridge, you should jump off a bridge. That's not what I'm saying. What I am going to say is, if you're going to be cautious of what you're going to put in your body, and you're going to say, it's my body, my body's my temple, I'm not putting any foreign substances, this, that, and the third, right? Okay. Are you doing anything to educate yourself on what these substances is that you're refusing to put inside of your body?
This is the same guy that's a flat earther.
He's denounced it as of
Oh,
recent, as
progress.
of late. As of late, he's denounced the
Hey.
flat Earth,
Look here. Look what you just said. As of late.
and he's still skeptical. I think he has that little wiggle room there, and it's, I get it.
broke this
I get
fucking
it. I get it. People's experiences, but and at the same time, like Nick Wright, who I listen to probably every morning, who's a big on the player side for across the board.
Yeah.
Big on the player side. He's also come to say, like, Kyrie Irving is also the guy that's a flat earther that denounced Nike for releasing his shoes, saying he never approved of it. So that's going to hurt sales. He's also made a big ruckus on every team he's been a part of. And, like, he's very much a me person, attention on me.
Yeah. He's the only good thing I've said he's done is like the whole mental health awareness.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I will always give him his props because he's been adamant about it.
Yeah.
And I respect, like, he's gonna ride hard for that.
And
I
the
respect
reason
that.
he's banned is because the state of New York mandated it to where if you're going to get it, I guess, into these big gatherings and stuff and to be able to perform, you need to be vaccinated.
Yes.
Because they don't want to keep passing on these variants. They want to get out of it. And they view that as the best way possible.
Like, if you want to have these huge gatherings, you want to be a part of these things, all right, well, everybody, at least it's universal. Like, everybody has to do this.
And the people in attendance need to be. So how strict they're enforcing it, don't know. Orange County, not that much. but it's an attempt. It's an attempt, and a lot of the league is getting vaccinated. They're backing it. They're doing the research. They're reaching out, and they're open to people. They're open to conversations. It doesn't really seem like Kyrie's open to conversation about it.
No, he's also kind of filthy rich, and he's like, fuck it.
Mm-hmm. So he's banned. He would get fined $300,000 a game. If
Well, he wouldn't get fined. He would lose.
he would lose.
He
Yeah,
just wouldn't get his game
yeah.
checks.
He would lose $300,000 a game.
Which is pretty like good for him that
He's so comfortable with the amount of money he has. He's on $300K a game. I don't need that.
Yeah.
It's a luxury.
And I saw a tweet, and it's gonna go back to Van Lathan right now in a second. But
Donald Trump Jr. came to Kyrie's defense. Now, Kyrie Irving's beliefs on being a black man in America and the whole Kaepernick movement that happened and Black Lives Matter and the pandemic and how they shouldn't play. They need to bring awareness to George Floyd.
does Donald Trump Jr. think
Nope.
the same way? Like, does he
Not
ride
at
on
all.
those stances?
Not at all.
Does and in any facet type?
Not
of
shape. Few and far between.
Wow.
Yeah.
and he came to his defense saying,
Kyrie Irving did more than Kaepernick ever did.
Wow.
and
Van Lathan said, Kyrie, look at your tribe. Meaning, look at the people that you're associating yourself with, that you stand along with
That's
them.
exactly like we're talking about with the sheriff.
Exactly. Look
Yep,
at
full
take
circle here,
take a
folks.
good look at who you're associating yourself with. Like, one thing I love to do when we go to shows and stuff, I like to look at who's a part of this fan base.
Yeah.
Who's here. Like, when we went to see Emotional Oranges, and I'm like, bro, this is such a wide array of people.
Oh, absolutely.
All kinds of walks of life here for the soothing sounds of being serenaded
Please do. I just need to hear it.
by this new R&B movement, where these oranges are very sad. And it's like, when you go and just like, I remember when we went to the George Floyd protest, and looking around and seeing, who's with you, who's a part of your tribe, your
Yeah.
herd, like that herd mentality. And like, you're looking around like, I'm proud to be associated with these people.
Mm-hmm.
Now imagine if I went to an anti-vax rally and I looked around, I would be like, wait, I don't even feel safe around these people. Because these people, if they saw me in the street and they didn't know I was anti-vax, it would be a very different energy.
Oh well, yeah. We wouldn't have the same conversation.
Yeah. If
There wouldn't be a conversation.
There wouldn't even be a conversation, no.
and I just fuck, bro. If it walks like a duck, it quacks like a fucking duck. It's a duck.
And when I start seeing the similarities of the people and who's associated with this a certain type of tribe, it's like,
the people.
yeah, like when it comes to being anti-vax, I get it. Do what you want to do. There's also going to be consequences that come with whatever choice you make. And if you accept that,
Yeah.
then you accept that.
Good for you.
Good for you. Hey, I respect your decision.
Yes.
Do I like it? Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah.
But don't come to me with this sob story looking for empathy
Not
when
gonna
you
get it.
had the same access to information as everybody.
You're not gonna get it from me.
Nah. I mean, it's like you made your bed, lay in it.
Yeah. Quite literally.
Quite
And by the way,
fucking literally.
hey, I was on that bed, and you know what? Didn't seek one empathy from anybody. I was like, no, if I get it, I'm gonna be home alone. I'll deal with it on my own. I'll be all right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. I did not want sympathy from anybody.
Checked in on you, but at the same time, it's like Arturo knew what he was doing.
I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
I knew what I was doing.
When did it happen?
I feel like there was an event where over the past couple weeks where people were trying to get into the emergency room, but they couldn't because of the influx cases in
well, 'cause-
Texas.
Yeah, it was. Well, it wasn't even just in Texas. I know there's parts in Florida too. There was a story, and it's always fucking Florida with these stories. There was a man who got shot in Florida, but he couldn't receive any care because all the physicians, everybody was everybody's in ICUs.
Mhm.
So this guy was shot, dying, and they're all, we don't have enough staff to fucking get this guy in.
Yeah.
Like we don't even have space.
Mhm.
And think about that, like how fucked up that must be. It's like, but this is what you guys wanted to.
Like you chose this, and it's like everybody now, people that didn't choose that have to suffer.
Yeah. Like that guy who got shot. What if he was vaccinated? He's like,
Yeah.
are you fucking kidding me?
Vaccinated, probably wore masks.
Yeah. He's like, yeah. Like he got fucking shot, and he's like, oh, so I can't get hair.
And it's always
Canada.
like people from privileged like walks of life have those, you know, strong opinions. Like recently,
and the fucking dumbasses follow them.
yeah. Like recently over the weekend, went to an event and I saw a sign on the door like masks are required and like again. And I knew it was a salty like again, like this fucking stupid
sassy.
bullshit. And it's like, well, I mean, let's think here. Why are we in this situation again?
ICUs are kind of filled up.
Why are we here? Why do
Winter's
I have
also
to wear
coming.
why do I have to wear a mask to go into your establishment? Because we're not out of a pandemic yet, are we?
It kind of sucks.
Kind of fucking. It's like when my mom would punish me, and for you know maybe talking back or cursing, right? Having a bad attitude, and she'd be like, you know what? After you know being spanked, and then like you know what? You're stay in your room, and then soon as I get out, I do something else, and I'm back, and I'm like, and she's like, do you see why you keep getting in trouble here? You're doing it to yourself.
Yeah.
What aren't you seeing?
Now you're also a child.
Yeah.
And you kind of, even at that age, you learned, oh, there's consequences.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should just shut up.
Yeah, but there's people that are.
Maybe I
really-
could stop doing that.
there's
You
people
know,
that are really, really old that still do stupid shit.
the dumbest of shit, like send emails to a bunch of other fucking people. Like, you know what I thought of? I thought of Brett Favre. For whatever-
Oh.
I thought of Brett Favre, and I'm like, this is whatever it is with these people from these walks of life and at that age that just don't understand.
They don't get it. Oddly enough, Brian Urlacher too. He was on that hill too, and it was
And they removed John Gruden from the Tampa Ring of Honor.
yeah. Thank God.
It's like there's no room for it. I'm glad he's being punished.
Good.
Good. He should have got this punishment on Friday.
Yeah. Oh, and probably way before then.
Whenever this came out is when he should have.
Like
When it first came out.
Bro, like imagine that, and imagine there wasn't even controversy with like Washington and the FBI like investigating them. Imagine that
Nobody
never
would've known.
happened. This would have never came to light.
Mm-hmm.
So it just goes to show. That's why you're saying like, oh, hey, every other NFL team right now is fucking going through their emails,
It's like SpongeBob, they're just going through fucking
Deleting
files, just burning
everything
shit.
on fire, everything on fire. That's what.
Yeah.
That's probably what the officers are right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fuck, we better clear our fucking clear them cookies.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of hungry now. But yeah, folks, that was this week's episode. I hope y'all enjoyed it. The Dodgers are up 5-1 right now, and hopefully they stay up, because if not, my mental health is going to be very low. I'm going to be extremely depressed. But you know what, folks? We're going to battle through this.
Like we always do.
Like we always do.
Seasoned Dodger fans know. They always wait to the last 3 innings of a game to really turn on the bats if
And-
they're down.
Also, elimination games.
And elimination games. Their back has to be against the wall. It's like a novella to them.
Hey, do we want? Hey, could we sweep them? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Do we want to do that? What's the fun in that? You know.
Why is it, what?
What's the fun in that?
We can make more money if we go to the elimination games.
That is also very true. I didn't think about that.
Like, I learned this back in I think 2010, 2011, whenever Andre Ethier had led the league in like walk-offs. You never leave a Dodger game early. Why? Because for whatever reason,
You just never know.
you just never know what happens, and it continuously. Same thing with the Lakers. It's like LA teams, they thrive off of like it has to be a story, it has to be theatrical.
It's Hollywood.
It's Hollywood.
It's got to be.
Kobe's got to hit the last shot,
Always.
or just attempt it.
Mm-hmm.
Like why would we be up by 20 when we could be down by 2 and need a 3? That's remarkable.
Hey, and that's LA sports for you guys.
That's LA sports.
So this
And
is gonna
it's
go
always
down.
it's gonna be one or two. Either we're gonna be great and it's always gonna be have to be a grind, or we're gonna be dog shit like USC.
Yeah.
Well, hey, look, my mental health
This
isn't
isn't gonna get any worse right now. All right, dude. We're
Thank
starting.
God
off
it's a
good.
bye week. Thank God
It's
it's
a bye week. We're gonna get through this. I hope y'all get through your week. I hope y'all have a good week.
And to you women out there, send them a booty pic. USC sucks right now. Cheer them up.
It's crazy. I'm a USC fan.
Diehard SC fan.
Die hard. Wear a jersey every Saturday.
And make sure I die hard. You know what I'm saying?
That's the show.
And
That's the
that's
show.
the show.
Hey, can't have it though, you know? Can't have it. Show fucking stinks now. Thank y'all for tuning in this week. Please be on the lookout for our Heaven's Demons teasers. That's a Heaven's Demons teasers. That's a fucking
Big teaser podcast going on
big
right now.
tease podcast.
Big tease.
I hope y'all have a good week. We'll see y'all
She's
next
big
week.
purr on big tees.
That's the episode, guys. I love y'all. Peace.